Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy.
What is up, everybody? Fernando Petty here, UVO Group, right here in the studio. I used to always say UVO Studio. Yeah, and we're always changing studios. This is a nice upgrade, though. I like it in here.
Yeah, dude.
But we're here today with one of our newest agents, Tage Pymm.
Tage Pymm.
Oh, we got the applause. I love that.
Hey, it's your first podcast?
It is, yeah.
It is, huh? Yeah, everybody usually, well, most people, when we bring them in, it's the first one, right? It's pretty cool.
I mean, not a lot of people do podcasts.
Yeah.
That I know, so.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you here, bro. Happy to have you on the team.
Appreciate it.
I'm actually really excited that you're on the team because you learned from one of the best mentors, I think.
Like in the game, yeah.
Yeah, in the real estate industry, which is Kat. Shout out to Kat over there at
GDP?
GDP?
GDP.
Yeah. I always think it's GP, but Kat Granderath. She's a badass. There you go. Look at Kat. Most people know her, too.
Yeah.
In real estate.
She's pretty much known throughout the whole state.
Yeah.
Oh, she kills it.
Yeah.
I haven't met a single person who doesn't know her.
Yeah.
Or has at least heard of her. So
she's a boss, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Kat. She's from Vegas, too.
Yeah, you're
We
right.
actually grew up in the same hood, literally in the same building. In
Really?
the same apartment building. Same one in Vegas. Pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was there, I believe, in 87, 88, and then I was there in 91, 92, 93.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
crazy,
trippy.
yeah.
Small
That's
world,
awesome.
man.
It all goes full circle.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it does. We joke around. She's always like, I used to babysit you. I was like, I wish. Oh, I love her. She's awesome. No, she's great, but great mentor too.
Right.
You were extremely blessed, and I feel like, and I'm not saying you, but a lot of people I think in your situation probably wouldn't understand how appreciative they should be to be learning from somebody like that until they're out of it. You know what I mean? And you can be honest. Do you feel like you have a little bit of that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This little fucker over here doesn't know how good he had it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I did and I didn't. When I came over here, I've definitely realized how much I got from it. Because when I was there, it was just kind of, trying to figure it out, get my bearings, seeing only one person, only one mentor.
Yeah, they're small. And she has it for a reason. People. She don't bring a lot of people. She only has 1 or 2 agents, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no, it was just me and her daughter. And now she has another agent, but he's a seasoned agent. She's not training him or mentoring him. So it was amazing the amount that she taught me. And I definitely appreciated it while I was getting it, but I appreciate it a lot more now that I've come here. Yeah. And surrounded by other newer agents who haven't had that mentorship for the last, year.
It makes you realize, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you're that much farther ahead than, your average agent.
Exactly. I mean, I hope so. Yeah. I think so.
Oh, you are,
definitely. Dude. I've learned quite a bit, and it was like drinking out of a fire hose for a long time there. But learning from one of the best, being mentored one-on-one. It wasn't like she had a whole team. It was just me and her at times, and her daughter. So we were both at the same level. Yeah. So it was pretty amazing getting that, learning everything from her. I was shadowing her, going showings with her, listing appointments, everything, seeing how she did it. So that was pretty amazing. I got to tag along.
Good.
That's a good way to put it too, drinking out of a fire hose, because that's exactly how I would imagine it would be. I was lucky enough to learn from Alan, and I always tell the agents that. I was just literally thinking about this yesterday. And, because we were talking about our numbers now. We're putting some numbers on the board now again, which is awesome, right? We took a break there for like a year, it feels like. But I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I always tell the agents, especially the newer ones, who don't know you and don't know your real estate, credentials. Yeah. And I was thinking, I'm like, what's funny? Like when you told me that, Dave Parker, Elite Team, sent you the message like, hey, you guys are coming up there. You guys are moving up the rank.
Yeah, we're number 32 in the country currently.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like that's not notable, right?
No, of course not.
I know, but
well, next year we'll be the number 1 team in the country. Just to clarify that, we've only been here 1 year. We had 1 year to build. Next year we're going for the number 1 spot.
But getting back to that where I was sitting in that place, I was like, I am pretty confident that if Alan only focused on himself, he could probably beat that whole team. I'm not even joking, because you think about down south, we have a number 2 team, and that's Brian Burnett.
Yeah,
and Brian Burnett does most of the deals himself, I believe.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but people of that caliber, like, they do exist in real estate. They can put up numbers more than agents or more than teams that are, have 15, 20 people on them. You know what I mean? So
all day long.
I try to tell that to the agents here when I have time to when I get that one-on-one time with them, to tell them like, hey, you guys have no idea how lucky you are to have somebody like Alan here who's broken records, who lives, breathes, sleeps, shits, eats real estate. That's it. Right. And I was telling the girl over there too. I was like, the new girl we just interviewed, Lola. Yeah. I was like, hey, you know, I have some business strategy experience, you know, about 18 years of it, which is awesome. If you have questions about marketing, business, we can talk. But you have Alan here for real estate, you know, and you have Jen here, you know, for real estate. And I was just telling her, like, you know, I believe that the numbers on the board, Alan could crush our whole team if he was just working solo. Right. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way.
Oh yeah, no.
And it's not to put the team down. It's just that there is so much great leadership here that has, like, there's so much support here, like with Kat, you know, that these guys on their own can completely destroy teams and dominate the real estate industry.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I've realized since I've been in it is how much respect I have for people who are a team lead or are a mentor, because they put their, I don't know if it's pride to the side almost, to help everyone else out when they could be making, you know, millions just being by themselves. But they take that time, they want to help other people, so they put that time aside. So I have so much respect for Kat, Alan, other, you know, mentors, team leaders that I've met, because they could easily go out there and just do it themselves.
And have no headache and do it yourself. Right. But it comes down to, there's a bigger purpose, a bigger calling when it comes down to it. Yeah. That you want to genuinely help.
Exactly.
Even if you're making less money, that's what fulfills you.
Exactly.
Well, you have to be selfless.
Yeah. You really do. I mean?
Yeah.
You really do in this game. Like, you really do. And too many people, they're selfish. It's all about me. I don't know. I've never really been that guy. You know what I mean? Early on in my career, it was all about me. But then later on, after a few years in the game, that didn't really fulfill me anymore, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because there's a lot of people in here that, you know, they just want it for them. Yeah. And I grew up always wanting to help people too. So I'm really hoping that I can get to a point where I can help other people out, because even, you know, Jocelyn in the office, she's comes up to me to talk and ask me questions about stuff because she's new. I have more experience, but I'm not a veteran. Yeah. I only have maybe a year and a half more experience than she does, but she wants to hear it from me because I've been there. Yep. And I love giving that information and giving that support. So I hope that at one point or another, I'll be able to, you know, mentor people and have some people under me that I can point in the right direction, because that's what I got. Yeah. And I realized as soon as I got my license, I said, I need a mentor. I don't want to go just throw myself into the fire and learn from somebody who doesn't care about me. I'm like, I need to find somebody who's actually going to take that time, like spend that time and effort trying to get me to be who I need to be. Yeah. And that was one of the biggest things I heard from, like, YouTube videos, different things when I first got into real estate, was find a mentor who will be one-on-one with you. So it's definitely a privilege. It is. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, I recommend it. You know, I mentioned it multiple times before. You know, I was on my own for a year and a half. So, and I wasted all that time, you know, and then once I jumped on a team, things just took off. Right. You know, so you want to surround yourself with the right people who are there to encourage you and push you to go out of your comfort zone and achieve the goals that you want to achieve.
Exactly. And that's why I'm here. Yeah. That's why I'm here, because this last year before I came here, it was a little less of the mentorship and more of, okay, you're on your own. So I was pretty much an independent agent all year, and I was struggling pretty bad. I told you, I came to you guys, and I'm like, I think I'm going to jump out real estate.
Yeah, I remember that.
This just doesn't feel like it's working. You know, I'm not doing what I needed to do. But then, you know, I really worked it out in my mind, and I'm like, I've learned so much. I know so much already that I'll just keep learning, and I already know what I'm doing, so why not stay in it? Yeah. And when I came here, I kind of was opposed to the team, like a big team, for a while. But when I came here, I just felt the immediate love and support, and everybody wants everybody to win. Yeah, which is amazing. Everybody's so selfless here; it's amazing.
This is one of the things that I told Kat when we interviewed Tage. I was like, hey, that guy's really great at speaking. He's a great speaker. Huh? Yeah, bro, you are very good. You're very, like, soft-spoken, but, you know, I'm from Vegas, and it takes me a while because I revert back to my very fast pace, and like, we slur our words, like where I'm from in Vegas, you know, we talk that way. and I have to catch myself, and that's why I love the podcast, because I can hear myself. And I need to slow the fuck down. You know what I mean? But Tage is he speaks very good. Huh? I gotta say that. Yeah, I mean, on the phones, because you're primarily calling for business. You know what I mean? And that is a huge advantage, you know, because you sound confident on the phone and in person, and you are. You know, I could tell. But I'm just saying that is a huge plus that I think a lot of people overlook in real estate, is just how well you speak.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, that was one of the things I told Kat. I'm like, yeah, I think he speaks very well. It would be hard to determine his age over the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's a big hurdle. A lot of agents who are new, and if they're very young, you know, Jocelyn is one of them, it's a hurdle they have to overcome, and that's the age, life experience. Right. So yeah, dude, that's a huge plus. That I commend you for that, you know, being able to do that, because I feel like you'll be able to connect a lot better with people over the phone.
Yeah, no, I've definitely was not always soft-spoken. When I first got in and I was taking calls and talking to clients, I was kind of word vomiting at them. Definitely speaking a little too quick, trying to get all my points out really fast. And then I realized, I'm like, just slow it down.
Yeah.
Slow it down and breathe. Like, you just need to not overthink what you're saying, but don't try to get everything out at once. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Just take it slow.
I remember, Fernando, in the beginning, when you barely began calling, and you're just talking. And I'm like, dude, slow it down. Calm
a lot of
down.
people do that.
Yeah,
you know
we're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
You know, just slow it down. I feel like a lot of us are too, we want to just talk and get everything out. It's not. Listen to the people. Listen to who you're talking to, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of got some skills from it when I was in high school, because I was in DECA, which is like business and marketing club.
Yeah.
You go do competitions. You pretty much solving a problem to these like high-level executives. And that's the judge. Like, there was the CFO of Zions Bank that I had to pitch to, and different big league people like that. And from doing that, I really learned early on how to talk and how to persuade and how to, you know, say the right things in the right ways. And I took first in every competition.
There you go. Hell
because I was good at speaking. Most of the time I didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah. But it was just the way that I said it. So they're like, oh, okay.
You sound confident.
He knows what he's talking about. Half of the shit he's saying isn't accurate, but, you know, it's fine.
It sounds good, though.
Yeah.
I gotta get my kid in that. I've never heard about that. DECA? Yeah. Look at all these opportunities. What school did you go to?
Went to Jordan High.
Oh, yeah, it's a good school.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, it's fallen off a little bit now, but, you know, it was.
Yeah, when I went, they didn't have those opportunities.
No, that was the one thing that pushed me from, I was going to be an architect. Like, that's what I wanted to be all growing up. I'm like, I'm going to go to school to be an architect. This is what I want to do, because I had no other idea. And then I took a marketing class, and I'm like, okay, this whole business world that I never knew anything about, this is it. This is what I want to do. So the DECA was that program that really pushed me to try myself and take the bigger steps in my life and realize I don't need to wait till I'm 35 years old to start building my life. I need to start building it as soon as I'm out of high school, or even in high school. So that was a big step for me, because I don't like school, and I'm glad I didn't stay on that path, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Damn, man, there's so many opportunities just in school right now. I'm going through a parent-teacher conference. It's like the week that we're doing right now. Yeah. Yesterday we did it with my daughter. She's 6. Just fun. You know, she's top of her class, which I was like, of course, just because she hangs out with adults all day. You know what I mean? With my wife and I and my son, and yeah, I'm looking at the education system as an adult, because when I was in it, I feel like for myself, and I probably could have did a lot better, but the counselors that I had, the people that I had in there, I think they were just so overwhelmed with so many students. A lot of students slip past them. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm trying my best to make sure that they know who we are and they know who our kids are. So if there's an issue, they can come directly to us. Right. And I noticed that with my son, like, he slips very easily in school. And he's into jiu-jitsu, really hardcore, right? He's like really athletic with that. That's awesome. But I always want to make sure that, hey, don't be like me and slip through and let it slide. Like, you need to check yourself. And so we went through his parent-teacher conference. We're getting emails, and I'm seeing the reports he's missing, and I'm like, dude, like, I look at them and I'm like, man, the school system is interesting in a way that they'll fail you. And if your parents are not supportive, or if they're not thinking clearly, they can like brand you as a failure.
Right.
And you might carry that with you. And I'm trying to make sure that we don't do that. But I look at the kind of assignments they are and I'm like, dude, this shit's not even like, it's so pointless. Like, it's not even gonna help you in life. But then when you look at what it really is, it's that accountability.
Exactly.
That's what that is. Just making sure that you do the things that you're asked to do, that you're supposed to do to pass.
Right.
So we're working on that right now. And I'm really grateful to be a parent, to see that. But I'm happy to be in the school district we're in, because the one I was in, dude, kids would slip through 24. I was one of them, literally slipped through the cracks.
Right.
Where I was failing so many classes, and I got to high school and they're like, oh, you were failing classes since the 7th grade. Like, and I'm like, why didn't you guys catch it back then? Yeah. They're like trying to put me in like remedial math, and I'm like, no, you're tripping. I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm just saying, like, you brought up a good point, because DECA, I've never heard of that. Mm-hmm. Is that something they do all over different schools?
Pretty much every school has it. It's
wow.
It's considered a club. I was always opposed to clubs. It just kind of sounds like a nerdy thing. But as soon as I got into it, I preach it to everybody. I go in and talk to the new DECA kids every year since I've graduated, because I want to help them. I want to give them my perspective on it, because that was a foundation for where I'm at now and where I will be. I give all credit to that. And it also goes back to the mentor thing, because my teacher, who was, the advisor for it, I still talk to him to this day. He wants to buy investment properties. We go get lunch and coffee multiple times a year. Like, I'm very close to him, but even then, he saw something in me, and he always would preach about it to me. So it was the first person who really, saw something in me.
Yeah. And
I kept him really close, because that was my first mentor that I really ever had. And after that, I was like, okay, I got to find more people who are going to teach me more about life.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I'm young, but I don't know shit. And I will 100% accept that. I got so much to learn, and I got to surround myself with people who I can learn from. Yep. And there's a lot of people who think they know everything. You don't.
Yeah, my daughter said that this morning. She's like, I told her about I don't know what it was, but she's like, I know. Oh, it was I got her new lunchbox, mm-hmm. And she has a little metal tin can, a little metal thing we put hot food in there.
Right.
And I put it in her lunchbox. I was like, hey, you got a new lunchbox? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, did you know this could go in there? And she's like, yeah, I knew that. And I was like, no, you didn't. I was like, why do you say you know when you don't know?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, you're right, I didn't know. And I was like, okay, so don't say that, because when you say that, you shut your brain off from learning, right? If you claim you know, then you're not going to learn, right? So don't say that. And I'm trying to teach them young.
That's funny that you say that, because that was the same thing that happened to me early on when I barely began.
Amy
Clark. Amy Clark called me out. She'd be talking to me, and I'm like, I know. She's like, you don't know shit. And I'm like, whoa, the hell? But that was a reality check for me, where it's like, no, you don't. And even though you were coming off like, yeah, I know what you mean, you may look at it and go, no, I know what you're talking about. But my whole thing was, I know what you mean. But just by you saying that, you're automatically making the other person think that, okay, you know what you're talking about, so they're not going to educate you on whatever that may be.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all victims of that.
Oh, exactly.
It doesn't matter when. Like, I still will do it. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I know. I don't.
But deep down, you're like,
I don't. I got to do a little more research.
Yep.
But, yeah, that's the biggest thing that I preach to a lot of people who, feel like they have everything figured out. You don't. You're going to fail 1,000 times, and you just got to figure it out. Talk to the right people, learn from the right people, and always take everything as a learning experience, because if you just think you know it, you're going to end up in the same place over and over and over again. And I've fallen victim to that multiple times. But
of course.
We all do.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about real estate, because you're here now.
Yeah.
And like I said, you learn from Kat, which is awesome. You got some experience. But what is the difference now? Because you came from, it wasn't even really a team. It was just super small brokerage.
Right.
Right. And obviously it was a team, but they weren't growing like a team. Mm-hmm. Right. And she's very selective, by the way. I try to send her people. She's like, nope, don't even give my number. Which is, I'm like, cool, I won't do it. But we are that team, right? Mm-hmm. We love taking on new people, helping them out. So what have you seen so far with us? Like, what's the difference as far as environment?
Well, for starters, if I thought since I got in, I met you guys when I first started. I met Alan when I first started. Yeah. And I kind of was watching you guys' podcast and stuff like that since I started in real estate. And I always thought, okay, if I'm not with Kat, that's where I want to go. Like, you guys were the only place that I saw it and said, okay, that could work there. But what I've seen here, like I said in the beginning, there's so much love and support as soon as I walk through the door. Everybody wants to know me. They want to know about me. I can just feel the love. You know, we set appointments and everybody's excited.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited for everybody. Everybody's asking questions about a call. How'd it go? What went wrong? What happened? Like, everybody's building everybody up and helping everyone out. And that's just amazing, because going from just a very close-knit brokerage, you know, team, it was a lot harder to really get that, I don't want to say support, but kind of feedback from everybody, like bouncing off of multiple different people with their experience and their ideas and different things like that, because it was just 2 people that I could do it. Now I have 15 that I can bounce ideas off of and ask how to do this properly, or did that sound good? Did that call sound good or not? You know, and they're going to be honest. That's the biggest thing, is honesty. Everybody's honest here. I love it.
Yeah. If you have a good call, we'll call it out. You had a fantastic call, but if you have a shitty call, we'll be like, I'd probably work on that a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I remember one of the first calls I made on, I think it was a call night, and you were standing right next to me, and I'm just like, was that a good call? And you gave me praise for it. Yeah. But then there was like little parts that you picked out. And I'm like, okay. I'm gonna internalize that, and I'm gonna use that.
Yep.
So that's one thing that I love, because it's just growth.
Yeah. Well,
everything's so growth oriented.
You're perfecting your craft. You know, you're learning from every call. You're learning from everybody, and you're gonna, you learn from and grow from it.
Yeah. It's not just, hey, you're shitty. What are you doing?
Yeah. Get out of here.
Get out. No, it's we're gonna help you grow. We're gonna help you become who you need to be.
Bingo.
Which is amazing. I mean, that's the thing with Century 21 as a whole, but this team is all I'm seeing, you know, and it's still so growth oriented here.
What's that for? What was that?
I mean, it speaks volumes to what our message is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, you're right. You know, coming from a team, or any team, or even different brokerages. We've been to another brokerage, and even teams. We've been on another team. Yeah. Right. It is a different dynamic, because, you know, I remember sitting in Dave's team. You know what I mean? When he'd be like, "Hey, come in. I have to hear your call. I got to hear your call so I can do that. You know, point out things you said wrong," which I loved, and I would record my calls and send it to him, and he would pick some stuff out. I had Alan too, by the way, so I wasn't probably as involved in that team dynamic. But when I was there and in the building, there isn't any of that. I mean, you shut your door. Yep. You don't want people to hear you. And if they do, hey, leave me the hell alone. I got 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm prospecting, which I understand to a certain extent. People who need to catch up. But if you're learning and you're new, you have to be in an environment where you can hear people and bounce ideas off each other. And over there wasn't that like praise. There wasn't. Yeah. You know, you set an appointment. It's like, cool. I'm in my own world.
Yeah. It's not my own
thing. And over here, it's not. Like, everybody is so close. Even though we're a larger team, people are still extremely close, extremely supportive. Right. You know, which I feel like as a new agent, those are the most important things you need. You got to be in an environment where you can see people doing the things you're doing, and you're watching them be successful at them. So you're not second guessing yourself.
All you have to do is copy them.
Yeah, that's it.
Copy what they're doing, and you'll be successful too. I did the exact same thing early on, you know? Yeah. Figured out what people are doing, and I'm like, cool, I could do that too. And then I perfected it, made it my own, and here we are.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm glad we have a bunch of, you know, leaders here within the team that people can point at and go, hey, I want to be like her, or I want to be like him, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree, because, you know, there's the growth-oriented part of it, but it's also fun.
Exactly. It doesn't even feel like work sometimes.
It doesn't feel like work. I mean, I haven't felt like real estate is work since I got in. Yeah. And that's one thing that's, you know, kept me in it, is because I enjoy it. Like I said, I wanted to be an architect, but my fallback was always real estate in some way, shape, or form. I'm like, oh, I want to own a bunch of houses. Yeah. I want to do this. Oh, I could be an agent. I remember going out with my mom when we bought our last house with the agent and just seeing all the houses and kind of what she was doing. And I'm like, that seems easy. Roughly. I was young, but I'm like, that seems easy. But yeah, I'm happy to be at the right place, you know. And
we're happy to have you, man.
I've been here for a month now. I want to say almost a month. And I feel myself excited. Good. Every day. I got that spark again. I kind of was losing it, but now I got that spark again because of everybody that I'm surrounded with. Good. And it's fun to come into the office. We're making jokes. We're having fun. getting some work done, but having fun and killing it.
You got to have a positive environment, and the one thing I told you from day one, I've liked you from day one, even like when you were even with Kat in the beginning as well. I'm like, I like this guy. He has, like you mentioned, your old mentor, he's seen something in you. Mm-hmm. Same thing here, actually. I'm like, there's something with that kid right there. I know he's going to make it. I know he's going to be extremely successful, and I would love to have this guy. I would love to work with this guy. Mm-hmm. Fast forward a year later, kind of interesting how the universe kind of played out. But not only that is, I like your story too, if you want to dig it, maybe go a little bit into that. Like, I like the fact, not what you do in real estate, but who you are, what you do. You take care of your family, your upbringing, what you came from. Mm-hmm. I think it's easy for people to look at people and go, hey, they're young, successful, good-looking hair, whatever it might be. You know what I mean?
Pauly D, yeah.
Pauly D over there. But it's like, who are they behind real estate? Who are they in front of their family, their kids, their brother, sister, etc.? Right. That's why I love the fact that you do so much, and I would love to highlight, a little bit about you and where you've come from, what keeps you motivated, what is your why. I feel like too many people, they don't have a why, they don't have a purpose. I had one very, very early on. I'm like, okay, cool. My why is to get my parents into a better home, a better neighborhood. That was my purpose. That was my trajectory, because I wanted to accomplish that for them, and then I would take care of myself. So that's, selfless like no other. Like, take care of other people first, and then yourself after. Which, but yeah, no, I want to highlight that a little bit about you. Like, I like your story, and I would love for you to share a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and just a little bit about you.
Yeah, where you from, bro? You from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. I mean, you guys have way crazier stories than me, but at the same time, everybody, came up differently with their own struggles, their own trauma, different shit that happened. I was born in Mill Creek, raised by my mom, so single mom for about 6 years, my first 6 years. She kept us afloat, which was amazing. My grandparents aren't wealthy by any means. We were very, in the middle. We always have been. But my mom would always make sure there was food on the table. She would always make sure there was presents under the Christmas tree. Like, she always supported, and even when she was struggling. Because I'm older now, so I've talked to her about it, and the amount that she did when I was younger, it was absolutely amazing. Because, my biological dad up and left real quick. So it was just kind of me and her for a long time there. And my grandma also, she watched me every single day, and she's taught me so much about life because me and her are so close. Me and my grandma are extremely close, and they taught me a lot about how to be and how to treat people and how to act. And I give them a lot of credit for how kind I am. I feel like I'm a very nice person. We all have days where we aren't as nice of a person, but for the most part, I feel like they taught me how to be a good person. I had a stepdad who came in when I was about 7, and me and him never really got along. There was a lot of clashing heads, a lot of problems throughout the household, almost to this day, until about maybe 2 years ago. But he taught me everything a dad should. He, taught me how to work on stuff, taught me how to ride a bike, played baseball with me, did all that stuff. So now I can look back on everything and have so much respect for him, even if he wasn't the best guy when I was younger. But that definitely, I got torn down quite a bit when I was younger. That kind of, I struggled for a while trying to keep my head straight and trying to stay positive. I always felt like I was the bottom of the runt, if that makes sense. Friend groups and different stuff like that, because of how I was treated, because I was too nice. I was almost just a pushover all the time. And then, I had a friend group through middle school and high school that just kind of tore me down. So that was really difficult to kind of overcome and get past, because you're getting shit talked on you every single day. How are you going to feel as a young kid? But somehow I always stayed positive, and I always stayed nice, and I always stayed true to who I was, even if I was getting beat up all the time. And that's, pretty much why I am who I am. And I give a lot of credit to my mom, my grandma, for keeping me on track, because I could have slipped so many times. I had many friends who slipped, some that are just into heavy drugs now and have no grasp on life. And I was with them when they fell off, but took the other path. And that's happened multiple times. And I'm very happy that I had that intuitive thought to say, all right, get out.
Yeah.
Get out. And I've had that a lot of times in my life. But from everything that happened, like growing up and stuff, because, you know, I could dive deeper, but I don't really feel like I need to. Maybe in 4 years when we come back to this, I could dive deeper. I'm just happy of who I am now and who I feel I am, because I've dealt with everything. There's a lot of people who go through stuff when they're younger and never deal with it. And I feel like I've taken a lot of steps back to actually understand who I am, why I do the things I do, and why I act the way I act. And I would say, going back to the why part of everything, the reason why I do what I do and I want to be successful at a young age is for my family. It's for my mom. It's for my grandma. Yeah. Like we're fine. You know, we get by very, very nicely. But I want to give them that luxury life, because remember when I took my mom to Kat's house for the first time.
She's got a nice house. Huh?
Yeah. I just saw the look on her eye. Her eyes like lit up, and she was just amazed by the whole thing. And I was like, okay. Yeah, this is why I'm doing this. Yep. I want to be able to provide this for you, because, you know, she kind of got stuck when she had me, and you know, I'm like, all right, got to repay you somehow. Yep. And that's how I'm going to do it. And same with my grandma. Like, I would love to, you know, make enough money younger so that I can buy her house. Something materialistically, you know, even though they don't care for that, they probably wouldn't even accept it. They'd be like, no, don't do that.
But it means more for you than
But
them.
It means more for me, exactly, because they
But it's just a way of saying thank you. It's literally a way of saying thank you.
It is, because they know how much I appreciate them. Yeah. They do, because I express it. But then actually giving them something to show it is a completely different ballgame. Because going back to helping people out and giving, that's always how I've been. A friend doesn't have money to get food, I got you. You need help for a car payment, I got you. You need this, I got you. You need a ride, I got you. Like, I always have been that person. And that's gotten taken advantage of a lot. Oh, yeah. Because it always will. But the thing is I never stopped doing it. Yeah. Because I love giving. I prefer to do that than to just, you know, hold everything to myself and think that just I'm top dog and don't need to help anybody else. Yeah. Because in order to get to the top, you got to bring some people up with you. Bingo. And that's one of the biggest things that I've always tried to do, is every single one of my friends, I've tried to bring them up with me. There's a couple you have to leave down, but I'm trying to motivate them, trying to get them to the next step, trying to just help them get to the top. And, you know, that's draining, but it's something that I want to do, because I've always loved helping, and I want to see everybody at the same level at one point or another. Yeah. And that's kind of always been my way of thinking, just helping and giving. And as I get older, I want to think of bigger ways to do it. Not just a charity, not just these little things, but I want to start something big that can actually help people. And I don't know what that is yet. I just know that I'm going to do it. I don't know how, don't know what, but it'll happen. And that comes from, you know, just being younger and seeing everything that was given to me. So I definitely. And just believing that it's all going to work out. I actually had that conversation with Daniel this morning, actually. I remember being a kid, like junior high, telling my mom, like, I'm going to make it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to become successful. I'm going to buy you a car. I'm going to buy you a house. And I didn't know how. She's like, how? I'm like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out. You know. Right. And it was like when I wrote on my 3x5 card when I was younger. I'm like, I'm already a millionaire. The money's just not in my account yet. Mm-hmm. And that was like my mentality. Was like, I already made it. I already have the money. When it comes down to it, it's just not. It's on the way. Right. You know, we've dealt with that multiple times too, where we're building the company and everything. We're like, damn, how are we gonna make it? How are we gonna get this month, next month? And I'm like, it'll work out. Right. You gotta believe that it's gonna work out, and it does. Right. You know? Everything happens for a reason. Exactly. I've always believed in that. My mom always taught me that. And, you know, that reminds me of the mentor from high school, because I never thought that I was going to be big. You know, I never really had those big dreams and aspirations to be super wealthy or, you know, take it to those next steps because I didn't know how to get there. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And he sat me down one day and he looks at me. He's like, so I had a mentor when I was your age, and he told me, he said, you're going to be a millionaire by the time you're 30. And
I give it 25.
that's what he said to me.
Good. I'm like, I give it.
That's what he said to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
that is what he said
Minimum
to me.
20. Like,
Exactly.
Maximum, I mean, 25.
Yeah, he was telling me his story about it, and he said he was 28 years old, and he was almost there. He was almost there. And he's like, okay, I just got to bust ass and just get it done.
Yeah.
So he worked his ass off, was a millionaire by 29.
Yeah.
And so he looked at me and he said that. He said, you're going to be a millionaire by the time you're 25.
Yep.
And I'm just an 18, 17-year-old kid. Like, holy shit, that's like a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But I've held on to that so hard, and I constantly remind myself that that's going to happen. I need to take the steps that are going to get me there because I am not going to let him down or myself down on that big promise. And that's something that's definitely kept me motivated too, is him telling me that at that young age and just letting the sparks in me just go off.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, how am I going to do it? What am I going to do? Because initially I wanted to be, you know, just a straight entrepreneur. I had so many business ideas. I tried to start multiple businesses in high school. Tried is the key word because I did not give it my all. I did not try hard enough, but I had the ideas.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even thinking about getting into real estate at that point because I just wanted to start a business. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I had multiple ideas, but I didn't know how to run them. And even now, I love real estate. I do. But at the end of the day, I want to create something that's entirely my own. Because this is creating your own business. This gives you so much foundation on how to actually start a running business outside of real estate. But that's always something that I will go back to because that was what inspired me to even take the big steps and have that motivation to do more, was kind of an entrepreneur mindset of, okay, I don't want to work for anyone. I haven't worked a 9 to 5. I haven't. I jumped straight into real estate.
Yeah. Which is smart, dude. Like, you're way ahead of a lot of people when it comes down to it, you know, going back to that. You began what, 18, 19, around?
19, yeah.
19, yeah. You know, I began at 23. You know, I didn't go full time until like 25 almost.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like you're already way ahead. You know, at 20, I'm like, I'm trying to figure my life out. And I know a lot of people are. They're like in high school. I mean, they're in college trying to figure it out, going to school because their mom and dad, they want them to go, but they don't want to go. They don't even know what they're going for. And I've had a lot of buddies like that just kind of fell off and went the wrong direction because they didn't have a clear path or the right support or the right environment, or whatever it may be.
Right.
So I feel like you're already way ahead. Like, dude, you're 20 years old. You're well on your way to success. And mark my words right now, it'll be definitely before 25. I said the exact same thing when I met with Brendan a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2022 around there. And I told him my story and everything. I'm like, you're going to be a multimillionaire before 25. I can promise you that. I can guarantee you that. And I think by like 23, 24, he hit it, you know.
It's amazing.
But it's just, you got to have people like that see that, you know. Like, there's a lot of crazy goals and visions that, you know, Fernando and Daniel have. And I'm just like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen, you know.
Right.
Like, we think so big.
Yeah, you have
where
to.
a lot of people look at you and you go crazy. I've been called crazy multiple times. Girlfriend, my parents and everything, like, have you lost your mind? I'm like, yeah, I have, but I like it, you know, like,
Right.
It's just, you got to be okay with that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And, you know, being young, you can say I have it figured out because I may have it figured out in the career aspect of it to a point. But everything else in life and personal, that's a shit show, and it stays a shit show. And if it gets better, it gets worse, you know. Love, relationships, stuff like that has brought me down. Like, I'd probably be way farther than I am right now if I didn't go through that shit for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But that's, when I think of things that hold me back, I think that's like one of the biggest things. It's like trying to grow up and learn those parts of myself, like on the personal side of everything. Because, you know, you can say that and be like, yeah, you're set. And I believe that I am in this aspect, but there's a lot of other aspects where I'm just still growing and trying to figure it out. And I think I told you, like, I took a month in the summer, just like a quote unquote a mental health month almost. Just journaled, went up in the mountains, just tried to get myself straight in my own head. And that's something that people need to do, you know, and I don't feel like a lot of people preach that enough, that you really need to take care of it because it gets bad. It gets bad, especially young. Like I graduated in COVID when COVID hit. It was my senior year.
Oh shit, okay.
So halfway through the school year, we were going to nationals for DECA. It was all planned out, all this stuff. We were going to, where was it? I think it was Atlanta or something cool, you know, someplace I'd never been before. Yeah. We're all excited. We're working our asses off. We're about to graduate. I was accepted to the University of Utah. And then COVID hit, and it was like, okay, you're out of school for 2 weeks. We're like, hell yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, that 2 weeks turned into 4 months.
Turned into 2 years almost.
It turned into 2 years, yeah. And that really, you know, messed up me, messed up my friends. We all took a fall because we had all that momentum to just jump into life. And it just got completely clipped from us. We had to walk through graduation. Drive through, actually.
Wow, really?
You would drive with your family.
What?
And then get out, walk across the stage. Everybody's wearing a mask, and then get back in your car and go turn in your cap and gown.
Wow, I had no idea.
It was nothing special. So it was like, you know, that whole high school experience of being like, oh, I can't wait to graduate and walk across the stage at the Maverick Center and party and you know, all this stuff. And it was just completely clipped from us. And that messed a lot of people I know up, including myself. I fell off the wagon for a while. Like I was not in a good place.
It'll mess with you. I feel like even when we were wearing the masks before, like everybody was just very standoffish. And if you don't have one on, they judge you. If you have one on, they judge you.
Right.
You're like, am I right? Am I wrong? Like you're trying to figure it out. And then, everybody just kind of didn't want to talk to each other.
It was rough. Everything was super divided. Me and my mom were clashing heads all the time because she's like, stay home. I'm like, no, I'm going out. Yeah. Going out every single day. I was not home one day. I was out every single day. And she's just yelling at me. We're getting into it. I'm like, come on, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm happy we're at the end of it. It's over, right? All right, I think it's over. I'm going with it. I'm going with it's over.
It's been over for me since it started. Yeah. In my head.
I'm happy that you know, we're kind of back to normal, which is, I feel like we are. I think the handshaking thing kind of took a pause for a while.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I was meeting buyers and sellers to shake their hands, you're like, do we shake? Do we not shake? You go halfway and look in the eyes, see if you connect. If they do, then you do it. If you don't, put your hand in your pocket, touch elbows. I don't know.
Yeah, when I first started,
it was a little interesting.
Weird. It was like you're standing with them and they're standing way too far away.
Yeah, like, so strange.
What's going on? And then they're standing far away from each other, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And it was in 2021, you know? Yeah. It was after the initial impact of it.
You know what, though? I feel like that's why our team, we did so well and we grew so much during COVID because we leave your mask at the door, and you could wear it if you wanted to, obviously, but everybody that was here, we all stuck together. We didn't we didn't let it affect us in the office. Yeah. Right? Everyone was still congregating, coming together, working every day. Didn't talk about it as much in the office, you know what I mean? And it was nice because other places wouldn't even allow you to go in the building. You know, brokerages were literally closing their doors for a while, and we didn't let that affect us. And I felt like it was a refuge for a lot of people. Right. You know what I mean? Who would have been mentally destroyed, you know, because it did fuck with a lot of people mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything, physically. Yeah. And dude, I got in the best shape of my life during COVID. Like it was awesome.
We grew the most.
Yeah, we did really well. Like it was awesome. And again, that mentality, that dynamic, I feel like those are the people that we like and love on the team, and we attract them, right? You attract what you are. And I mean, again, that's why I'm so happy that we're here and we made it through all that shit, and we're growing and we're booming again. Oh yeah. And we're getting people like Tage, which is awesome. But yeah, dude, I'm really happy that you're here. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I am too.
I can't wait to see you start putting some really strong numbers on the board. You know what I mean? And again, if I can give you any word of advice, just based on my own experience, how I started watching Alan and other people like him, it really is just doing the same thing every day, you know, coming in, calling, holding yourself accountable. You know, we'll do that to the best of our ability, but hold yourself accountable and just make sure that you don't deviate from that plan.
Right.
Like that really is the key to success in real estate and any other business is just doing that. The one thing, like it's so basic. We talk about it all the time. Go back to basics. What did you do to get that deal? Break it down. Okay, I went in the office, sat down, good mentality, good state of mind, called, built a relationship, showed some properties, closed the deal. Like it really is that simple, and people complicate it. You know what I mean? And I'm happy that we have that environment to remind people, just back to the basics, come in and work and grind. So I do believe you're going to be super successful, right? Just like everybody here in the office, Daniel especially, Alan as well, myself too, you know what I mean? And I'm really happy to have you here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, really happy you're here, bro. And I'm happy to see his growth.
Yeah, dude. No, it's that's I feel like the most fulfilling thing for I'm sure both you and I as well, because I look at everybody here like family.
Nope.
It's like you spend more time with each other than you do with your real family. I'll be honest. I see you more than I see my daughter, for example. And it's beautiful watching everybody come up, and who they're meant to be. And I'm like, man, I remember a year ago you were here thinking about trying to get out, trying to figure it out. And you stuck with it, and now a year or two later, you're like, oh shit, thank you, Alan, thank you for believing in me, and I've come so far, because you don't realize how far you've come until you look back. I'm sure you had that moment happen to you where you're like, I don't know, I haven't really done it, and then you took a second to look back and go, holy shit, I've come far. But I don't think we give ourselves enough credit.
Yeah, I had a big aha moment with that when I first started in real estate. It was within the first couple months, because I was freaking out. I'm like, I have a great mentor, but this is a lot. Like, I'm not closing a deal. I'm not making money. I'm broke as shit. I don't know what to do. And my girlfriend at the time just looked at me and she's like, you're stressing yourself out too much. And I'm like, I know, but what else do I do? And she just said, just look at how far you've come. It was just as simple as that. Yeah. Just look at how far you've come. She's like, you can write it down. You can do whatever, but just think about it. And at that point, I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's actually a really, really solid point that is stuck in my head, is to remember where you came from. Remember everything you've done to get to the point that you're at, and always remember that. Because like I said, it went from 2020 to my license in 2021. In 2020, I had 6 jobs. Jumping job to job, tried school, tried this, tried that, couldn't get anything to work. So I was just discouraged. And then it was like, wait, no, I kept pushing. I looked back and I kept going. I kept taking those steps. I didn't sit back and say, oh, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait for something to come to me. It was, no, I'm going to take these steps to figure out what the hell is next. And that's one thing that I saw when I look back. And one thing that I can see now when I look back is I stayed with it. I had those months. I've gone months and months without getting paid easily. That's just how real estate is. Yeah. But that was, something that discouraged me a lot. But then when I look back and I'm like, okay, but you overcame this and you overcame that. What is this? What is this little inconvenience to all those other big things that you already got through? So that's definitely a big thing that a lot of people need to remember, is to look back. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well, we are coming to the end of this podcast, because I know these cameras are about to shut off. I keep looking at the timer. I don't know if you know that, but I'm happy that we're doing this again. Yeah. It was good. Yeah, I like highlighting agents, especially somebody like Tage. When you talked about, and I'm going to touch on this note really quick, when you talked about when he was thinking whether or not to do this, I remember the day you walked in the office right here, the spot, and you're like, yeah, I'm thinking maybe do this. What was it, like medical sales or something?
Something along those lines.
Something right, or this. And I was like, all right, well, it's one or the other. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not the place to come in and 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, that's a big no-no over here. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that you made the right decision, because the amount of growth that you will have here, it's fucking insane. Like, you can look at somebody like Jocelyn. Yeah, she hasn't produced anything yet. She just started. Just a few months in the business. But if you look at the growth that she's had, and I told her this when I talked to her, look at where you started just a few months ago, look at where you are now, look at how you know how to call now, know how to communicate with people, know how to ask for an appointment. Those things, if you started and you didn't have a team to support you, you would be in the same fucking spot. Right. You know what I mean? So people beat themselves up, but they need to look back and see, like, how far did they really come in that short amount of time. And that's why I love a team dynamic, and that's why we're going to keep doing this thing. About providing opportunities.
Oh, exactly, man.
You know what I mean? So thank you, Alan, for being here and doing such a good job of leading the team and helping the agents when they need the help. Thank you for participating in that. Appreciate and let's see what we can do this next few months. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we got the fourth quarter. We're wrapping up the third quarter here, and I can't wait to finish the year off strong.
Yep. Hell yeah.
And they hit the ground running for the first quarter.
Yep. There we go. Okay, bro. Well, on that note, thank you so much for being here. And let's do another podcast soon so we can get some more out there.
Okay, let's do it.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you guys.
Later. Yep.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy.